6 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. Mark Klein hanging out with you. Welcome to another Long Island Blues Warehouse at the world-renowned EKO Studios, Deer Park, New York, the official studio of the Blues Warehouse, and welcome. Tonight, we are talking to a noted New York City session player and touring guitarist. His credits include 6 world tours and 6 albums with Joe Cocker. He has recorded with Blue Oyster Cult, Peter Criss, Gary U.S. Bonds, Patti Smythe of Scandal, just to name a few. On the stage with us right now, we welcome this week's featured artist, Phil Grande.
Of what you're doing, what lies ahead. Every move you make could be make or break. Some believe in love, some believe in nothing. Which are you, my dear friend? Oh, you tell me all you need is a slippery shoe. Exactly what you need.
Yeah, this week's featured artist, Phil Grande and The Fold. Phil! Welcome back to the Blues Warehouse, my man.
It's so great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about 20 years ago real quick.
20 years ago.
WBAB Radio.
Oh.
Which is where my little Blues Warehouse program began.
I remember.
You were one of the very first artists to perform live on said show.
Honored.
And it's been 20 years, man. And you look the same.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers and almonds.
Protein shakes?
Protein chicks.
Protein chicks. I'll take it.
I
I'll
thought
take
that's
it.
what you said.
It's good to see you, my man.
Yeah.
It's good to see you coming out of the gate real strong, as you always like to do.
Wow.
And we appreciate that. Phil, I want to reintroduce you to the world and talk about some history. Let's talk about when you began musically. Let's talk about the first time you picked up a guitar and decided that this is something you were going to do in life.
Well,
How old were you?
7.
You were 7.
Yeah, and it was the Beatles, of course, like everybody else.
The Ed Sullivan Show?
Of course.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough to have older sisters, so I was educated in music before the Beatles even came out. I mean, you're talking whatever they listened to, the doo-wop stuff, which didn't drive me crazy. I think The Ventures was the first time I heard a guitar.
Okay.
Walk, Don't Run. I was hooked.
That
It
was
was
the beginning for you.
Christmas, and I just kept on playing that 45 over and over and over
Wearing that
again.
thing out, huh?
And yeah,
Driving the family nuts, I'm sure.
they were nuts already.
Okay. So at age 7, you tell the folks, I want a guitar?
No, my Uncle Nick, who was a bass player, amongst other instruments, he played 12 different instruments, and he goes to my father, he said, you got to get him something. And my Uncle Ralph said, there's one right in the corner. So it was an old Stella hand-me-down. Thankfully, it had 6 strings on it. And I picked it up, and during that week, I just found chords on my own.
No kidding.
Just,
Did you take lessons as well?
No.
You're completely self-taught?
Yeah.
Can you read charts?
No.
It's funny because 90% of the players on Long Island cannot read charts.
Well, rock and roll players, I think, basically, never really needed to.
Very cool, my man. Very cool. Let's talk. Let's jump ahead to, like, let's say junior high and high school days.
Mm-hmm.
You're at this point playing practically in a professional status, I would think.
Yeah. Matter of fact, my first professional job was at 11 years old. I played in school, and I actually got paid for it. And that's the definition of a professional, I believe, is if you get paid for it, you're a pro.
Even if it's a battle of the bands or a garage band type of thing.
Yeah.
What were you doing in junior high and high school musically? What kind of music were you playing?
Well, I played Zeppelin. I was in Catholic school, and I remember that I got expelled because I played Zeppelin's Lemon Song.
Okay.
And if you know the lyric to that, squeeze my lemon till the juice runs
It's kind of
down.
frowned upon with Catholic schools, I would think.
Especially with the nuns, yeah. Yeah, I was a target for rulers after that. Mr. Grande, get over here. We're going to hit you anyway, even though you didn't do anything wrong. So, yes, I was abused.
All right. Worst things have happened, I guess.
Oh, it was worth it.
They got to pick on somebody. Might as well pick the guitar player.
Yeah, well, things haven't changed, So.
All these years later. What are you doing out of high school musically? Are you playing around town? Are you?
I never finished. They usually found me in the music room cutting class, and I had one teacher, my English teacher, who said, "Listen, you're failing everything. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you just don't give a crap."
You had no interest.
I really didn't. I said, "We know where you are. Why don't you get your GED and go follow your dream?" I'll never forget her. Her name was Miss First, and she was great because I took her advice, and I got my GED right away, and I started playing bands all around Long Island until finally my father threw me out of the house, and I was forced to move to New York City, which was the best thing he ever did for me because now I'm working on original material with older guys. My talent had developed to a point where I actually could get in the studio at this point. And by 23 years old, I was signing Columbia Records.
At 23.
With Elizabeth Joel. That's Billy Joel's wife. She had started Decent Records with John Small, who was from, I think it was the Hassles, was Billy Joel's first group. Was it the Hassles, or was it? Yeah. And
Okay.
so they opened up a small company underneath Columbia called Decent Records, and we were the first group on there. So at 23, yeah, I hit the bigs.
Great beginning for you, Phil. Great beginning.
Thanks.
Let's jump into another tune. We'll come back and continue the Phil Grande journey. What are we doing next?
Another original song. All these songs you're hearing for anybody's first time that we've ever played these live. They're written for my new record coming up called Standing Stand it up to the X.
This is a bit of a world premiere right now with the new tunes you're giving us tonight.
If you like, and the band.
I like a lot.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, grab that other instrument. What are you picking up? A Les Paul, it looks like? Yes. Very nice. That's a 72. Can't hear you. Into the mic if you would. You got a funny story with that 72? That beautiful 72 Les Paul. It's a good-looking instrument.
All right, the Stella was broken by this time. Of course, I had another guitar, but my father said, Uncle Nick said he really needs a good one. So they made me cut my hair and shave my beard. I was 16 years old. And we'll get you to Les Paul. I came back and the hair wasn't short enough and neither was the beard, so I had to go back and get a crew cut. Thank God I was on the baseball team as well, so I was a jock musician. And I got the guitar and I still have it.
Very nice, my man. Very nice. You good to go?
Yes.
Well, once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep it moving with Phil Grande and The Fold.
Just like a dog running in circles, just like a dog chasing his tail. He got a bone in a little doghouse in the backyard of the big bad world. We're not getting older, get up on the slower. We can still get over, we're almost there. A little man, you gotta speak up. A little man, you gotta get tough. We know you got great big dreams, but little man, get up off your knees. We're not getting older, get up on the slower. We can still get over, we're almost there. We're getting closer, closer and closer. Open your eyes. We're getting closer, closer and closer. We're getting closer, closer and closer. We're getting closer, step by step, inch by inch, all right? Amplifies you under the gun, you paralyze you under the thumb. You try to hide under a rock, you gotta find the key that fits the lock. We're not getting younger, get them down the slower. We can still get over, hell, getting closer. We're getting closer, closer and closer. Come on, open your eyes. We're getting closer, closer and closer. Big surprise. We're getting closer, closer and closer. Almost here. We're getting closer, step by step, inch by inch. Na 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 na. We're getting closer, closer. Na 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 na. I read the writing on the wall. I read the big print and the tall. Look to you the minutes to fall. Wake up, little man, it's too close to call. We're not getting older, just a little slower. We can still get over. Getting closer, we're getting closer, closer and closer. Open your eyes. We're getting closer, closer and closer. It's a big surprise. We're getting closer, closer and closer. We're both here. We're getting closer.
This is Kim from Rocky Point, New York, and you're listening to the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
This one is called Cheap Hotel.
Another night in a cheap hotel. Got nothing left to pawn or sell. No cash in my pocket, no credit cards. Somebody tell me why this life is so damn hard. I've been the deep, but I won't give up. It's just a bad dream, and I can't wake up. It's just a bad dream, and I can't wake up. Another night in my private hell. How long it'll last, I just can't tell. I live every word before I turn the page. I'm wiser than my years, but I'm younger than my age. What stirs beneath must erupt. It's just a bad dream, and I can't wake up. It's just a bad dream, and I can't wake up. So I sing. This too shall pass. Set and the wind is free. The stars will guide the weary and the lost. I got a mountain to climb, baby. I got an ocean to cross. What lies ahead must be love. It's just a bad dream, and I can't wake up.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Phil Grande, and The Fold. Nicely done, Phil. Nicely done, my man. Got a few degrees hotter in here. I know you're feeling it. I'm losing weight on the sideline just watching you. Well done, my man. Well done. Phil, I want to continue the Phil Grande journey with you if I can for a minute. And let's fast forward to the 80s. Some big time highlights for you with your career and things you're doing musically back in those days. Let's start with, 1984. A fella that used to play drums for a little-known band a few people heard of called Kiss. Peter Criss, the original drummer of that band, is involved in a solo project. You worked with Peter for a little bit.
Yeah, who knew? It seemed like at that point they all put out their solo records. I believe they were on Casablanca at the time. And I was doing a lot of work with a producer, Vinnie Poncia, who worked with Phil Spector for years. He was actually Phil Spector's guitarist. So a lot of the sessions with all the greats that Phil Spector produced. I can't give you names, I don't remember. However, he said, well, this would be a good record for you to get on. I said, well, any record's good to get on. The other guitar players on that record were Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band, Caleb Quay from Elton John's band, myself, Bobby Massaro. It was a whole list of who's who in New York at that time, so it was a lot of fun to get on. And I got a solo.
You did?
Yeah, I got a solo.
There's a great Long Island drummer that worked with Blue Oyster Cults back in the 80s. What's the chances you got to work with the same fella, Bobby Rondinelli?
Oh, come on. Yeah, everybody knows. He's a local legend.
Was he in Blue Oyster Cult when you got to be a part of it?
No, he wasn't.
Different time frames.
At that time, the first time I met Bobby, he was on tour with Richie Blackmore.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
The Rainbow Project.
And I was with Charlie Midnight Band, the band I told you I was signed to when I was 23.
Yes.
I'll never forget, because before he went up, I told him, hey, break a leg. And he looked at me and said, what for?
All right.
Put me in my place real quick.
Okay.
And I thought about that. I never said it to anybody again.
A guy back in the 70s, a big songwriter that wrote a song Edgar Winter made very famous, Free Ride, a guy named Dan Hartman. You worked with Dan as well.
Oh, yeah, that was a great experience. Dan was brilliant. That's probably the first time a lot of people had heard of him. The big hit, he was with Edgar's White Trash, but after all that happened, he went on to a great solo career and a career as a producer. He had a solo song, big one, called Instant Replay. If anybody remembers, it was the late 70s. He also wrote, I Can Dream About You, and that was a big hit for him as well.
I remember that one as well.
And he was producing Nona Hendrix. He did the first two Joe Cocker records with me, so that's where we became friends. So the first thing we did before that was the theme song for Harry and the Hendersons, that Bigfoot movie.
TV show or the movie?
No, the movie.
No kidding.
Yeah, next time you watch that movie, listen to all the guitar.
It's been a while, but I'll have to check that out again.
Yeah, it was
very
cute
cool,
thing.
very cool.
Yeah.
Meatloaf's original backing singer, collaborator. She's best known for doing the female roles, the big female roles in Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Right.
Ellen Foley.
That's right. That was
You worked with Ellen as well.
Yes, I did. She was she left Meat, and Carla DeVito took her place. And a lot of people think that Carla DeVito was Ellen Foley. Carla has black hair. Ellen was onto her own thing, and I don't think she liked being manhandled on stage by Meatloaf either. She's such a petite little
Carla
thing.
DeVito did?
It seemed that way. You'd have to ask her. I don't know. But Ellen surely didn't. So, yeah, we were signed to Epic Records, Cleveland, and I was her musical director, and we did a record which really didn't fare well. And I felt sorry for her because it was a good record. But we had Ellie Greenwich write most of the songs. So it had that 50s, early 60s flavor, but only with more power pop to it. It was a good record.
Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's?
That was a session. They called me out to Malibu to do that. I did 2 songs off that record.
Very nice.
David Tickle producing.
Very nice. I'll tell you, you were one busy son of a gun in the 80s,
yeah.
which brings us into 1986. You crossed paths with and got to work for the next 7 or 8 years with Joe Cocker.
Yes.
You've toured, you recorded, you did 6 world tours, 6 albums.
Right.
How'd you cross paths with Joe Cocker?
Once again, one of the most important things, and this goes for musicians who are just starting up, or get hooked up with a producer. If a producer loves you, if you could deliver the goods quickly and efficiently, and be imaginative, they'll use you on every record. So I had a good rapport with Dan Holman and Charlie Midnight. They co-produced that. So after the Harry and the Henderson thing, they brought me right into Unchain My Heart, which was a breakthrough album for Joe Cocker. And then from there, it just went on.
7 years.
7 years. One of the highlights of that whole time was we did the fall of the Berlin Wall, which is something I'll never forget. You know, being part of history and just seeing the drama play out. You know, the wall came down, and I had a piece of it, but I lost it.
You lost it? Phil.
Yeah, I know.
All right. All right. Worst things have happened, I
You
guess.
know, I could find another rock and say, I found it. That's the
But you'll
difference.
know.
I'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah.
And what's the point of that? Phil, some amazing, amazing history, my man. You've been blessed and honored to really work with some greats and just do some awesome things in the 80s and 90s. And the solo thing that you've been doing on and off for years, tremendous as well. I love what you're doing today with the new material. I love what you did 15 years ago with some. I wish you brought one of those tunes back. Some kind of hurricane. Some of the Full Moon Blues. Yeah. It's a signature piece for you. I know we couldn't get it prepared for tonight. That's a good reason to bring you back for another show, by the way.
Well, we're very involved, the band and I, on doing this next record. And so we really haven't had much time to work on the old. It's in with the new right now, but I'm sure we'll be able to bring it in later.
I hope so, because it's a great signature piece for you.
Thank you very much.
A mutual friend of ours down in Atlanta, Georgia now, Rich Lahamadou.
Oh, Richie.
He ends his show every Monday with Full Moon Blues by Phil Grande.
Thank you, Richie.
I play it in the set list. I work it into the playlist every 6-8 weeks because it's just such a well-received tune, and people request it all the time. But I can't play it every week. It's a little too much, if you ask me. But it's such a great piece, and I got to work into the rotation.
Thank you.
Little Buster and Sam Taylor, those guys I got to play every week.
Oh, no,
Phil Grande, I work you into the rotation with everybody else. But anytime I play you, I get dozens and dozens of comments on the computer screen going, oh my God, Phil Grande, Phil Grande, Phil Grande.
Geez. Well,
So you've got a strong fan base right here in our backyard, otherwise known as Long Island. And it's good to see you still going strong, my man.
thank you, Mom.
Speaking of going strong, let's keep it going. Let's put you guys back to work. What are we doing next?
The next one is called If It Ain't One Thing, It's Another. And that's the truth.
Well, let's waste no more time. Let's keep it moving. Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, it's Phil Grande and The Fold.
Got out of bed, the floor's icy cold. No hot water, this building's so old. Landlord knocks on my flimsy, drafty door. Says, come off with a cake, boy, oh, you ain't staying here no more. Oh my, it ain't nothing new. Down on my last half cigarette. Can't even smoke that, cause my match is all wet. I'm searching my pockets for nickels and dimes. I'm pretty sure it's useless, cause I searched 87,000 times. Oh my, ain't nothing new. Another, if it ain't one thing, it's another, if it ain't one thing, it's another, if it ain't one thing, it's another, oh, oh. Oh, baby, now I'm rolling, rolling on down 7th Avenue, well, just where I belong. I'm gonna look it around every corner in space. Don't you know now I'm not too late. Oh my, ain't nothing new. If it ain't one thing, it's another. If it ain't one thing, it's another. 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 If it ain't one thing, it's another.
Oh, yeah. Phil Grande and The Fold. Nicely done, Phil, as always. I want to grab Dan Ehrlich on the bass if he'll head up to Phil's mic for a second or two. How you doing, Dan Ehrlich?
All right, how are you?
Dan Ehrlich. Am I saying that right?
You are.
Good. A little closer on that mic if I can get you. Let's talk about the history, my man. Let's talk about when you began musically. Did you start as a young guy?
I did.
Like in the womb? That'd be my
not
guess.
Quite. Actually, my parents both worked, so they left me home with a kind of a Swedish nanny. And
A Swedish nanny.
And she was into
Good
like,
story. Tell it again.
She was.
Oh, you're not done.
I was 5. She was into like Rolling Stones and Michael Jackson
No
and Stevie
kidding.
Wonder, so I was like influenced early.
A little closer, man.
And then my older brother played guitar,
Okay.
so he needed a bass player. So I played bass. I did. So actually, I started playing bluegrass. I was playing upright bass and playing bluegrass. He was into bluegrass music, so he was like, learn these songs. So I did.
Now, how old are you at this point?
How old am I?
How old were you then?
How old? I was
The story you described.
15.
You were 15 at the time with the
Yes.
bluegrass thing.
Correct.
With your brother. Very cool. Was that a short-lived project? Did it go for a while?
a few years.
Okay.
And then I got into kind of jazz music, and it was kind of an interesting time growing up because like there was really great bass players like Jaco Pastorius, Marcus Miller, Will Lee, all these guys that were just incredible on the bass, and the bass was starting to get more noticed. And I think I was secretly kind of feeling when I was 5 years old, because when she was playing like the Jackson 5 and the Stevie Wonder, was James Jamerson, who is now like my bass hero, you know? So like everyone's been influenced one way or another by James Jamerson.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
if you're a bass player out there, check out James Jamerson.
I think, speaking of Will Lee from the Letterman band, the Paul Schaefer band, I think Phil worked with Will Lee a little bit. Where'd Phil go?
Incredible. He's
Oh, there he is. Phil, you worked with Will Lee a little bit.
Yes, I did.
If memory serves. Let's talk about out of high school. Let's talk about late teens, early 20s. What are you doing musically? What do you got going on project-wise?
actually, it was kind of cool. I met a buddy in college, and we put a band together. We met this really great drummer, Todd Turkisher, and we had a band called Spiral. And
That name sounds familiar.
And we got to play. We got to open up for like the Dixie Dregs, and we got like Tina Turner and stuff. So we got exposed early to like a lot of these incredible musicians, and got the opportunity to see them, how they worked, and I was hooked. I was like, I want this life, and I've been poor ever since.
You got the bug early. You got
I
hooked
did.
early.
I was. It's incredible.
Let's talk about what were you doing right before Phil. First of all, how did you hook up with Phil? How'd you cross paths with Phil Grande?
I'm so honored to have met Phil. He's an incredible player, and he has totally helped my playing, you know, just from the short time I've known him. I met him through actually Benny, he's over the background singer. And just, you know, really embodies just musicality. He's rhythmic, he's harmonic. So we're very lucky to have, you know, met him, and he embraced us.
How long ago did you meet Phil? Did you cross paths with him?
It was like a rainy day in July.
Not too long ago.
Right.
July of last year.
Correct.
Very cool. And
Yeah.
you guys, how'd you wind up playing together? The first time you guys got on stage, was it a jam?
No,
Did
it
you
was
get
at a
invited-
rehearsal studio.
Okay.
And he was, kind of just, we were working, I think, on some cover music, and it just kind of gelled.
It
and
clicked.
It clicked, and it's, I think it's incredible. He's amazing.
The stars and the moon were aligned right that week, and there's been no looking back.
Very cool. And thank you for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. Dan Ehrlich on the bass, holding down the bottom end real well. I thank you so much. Let me grab on the drum kit, Mr. Matt Miller, if he'll pull that mic around. How you doing, Matt Miller?
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
You know, I'm looking at the name, and when I look at your name, Matt Miller, the name Al Miller comes to mind.
That's my dad.
Can you? I was going to say, can you tell me why that name comes to mind? That's your father.
That's my dad. Yep.
Well-known drummer.
Yep.
Share with us some of the things your dad's done in the past.
Well, my dad is a big band drummer. He played with Cab Calloway.
Cab Calloway?
A long time ago.
Minnie the Moocher.
Yeah. And, he's an author of 6 drum books, and he's had a teaching practice for forever on Long Island. He's, he was a big teacher for many, many years.
Clinics, too?
Yeah.
Drum
He did some
clinics as
clinics.
well.
We did a clinic with the Buddy Rich Big Band and the Louis Belson Big Band in, what was that? That was 83. I should know this for sure, but I think it's 83. It's a real fond memory for me.
Well, now I know the influence for what got you behind the kit. How old were you when you first got behind the kit? Were you just walking?
Well, I guess, my first lessons, I started when I was 5, like learning to read and taking formal lessons. But of course, just banging around way earlier than that, And yeah, it's funny being here. After my dad passed in 2000, I took over his big band, and we recorded in this in EKO Studios, sitting right here.
The very stage we're in right now.
The very place
No
I'm
kidding.
sitting right here. Yeah, so it's kind of trippy to be here. It's really nice to be here.
This is your first time back since that experience?
I've been back one other time since.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What was the other time you were back here to do what
Well,
project?
it was a rehearsal.
Just a
We were
rehearsal.
lucky enough to get here for a rehearsal one night. We needed a good place with a good sound, and we found ourselves here.
This place meets that that requirement
it's a
without a
great
doubt.
place. It's really a good.
How'd you
place.
cross paths with Phil Grande?
Well, as Dan was saying, Dan and I have been together for a while playing, and we got a call from Ben, and we came to a rehearsal studio. And as soon as we heard him, like Dan said, he's one of those guys that he kind of makes you play better. He's the real deal. I can't say enough about him. He's got something that you can't really explain, but it's like an emotional thing. When he plays, it pulls you in. And I play better when I play with him. So it's been kind of magical for me, and I have a really good time.
Great chemistry.
It's a really good
As
thing.
it shows big time tonight. I can only imagine. Well, great job, my man.
Thanks, man.
Another guy that can definitely exchange eights with the best of them and keep going strong, man.
I will.
Keep going
Thanks,
strong.
Mark.
Matt Miller on the kit, I thank you so much. Let me grab Ben Phillip over there on the backing vocals. How you doing, Ben?
If I can get this on.
There
Oh,
we
here
go.
Hi, folks. Yes.
So, Ben, you go back with Phil for a while now yourself.
I go back with Phil about 10 years. I got a telephone call about 10 years ago to do some session work with Phil. And when I heard him play, I almost died. I was like, I couldn't believe how great this man was.
You picked up a little bit of talent in him when you saw him.
Well, you know something, as these guys were saying,
To
when
put
you,
it mildly.
when you work with Phil, he brings out the best in you, because I remember singing his original songs, and he's like, no, Ben, you gotta, she was this and she was that. She was miserable. She hurt me. And then I would I don't know, something would happen inside.
Pull the emotion out.
He made me the rock and roll singer I am, because I was a good rock and roll singer, but mainly I sang in a lot of wedding bands, so I'm a good Sinatra singer and that kind of stuff, Rat Pack stuff, but I also sang rock and roll. But when I started working with Phil, I really learned how to sing rock and roll, because he makes you so much better than you are. He brings out the potential in everyone that's around him. And so when he was looking to start a new band, he said, Ben, I really need great guys. I need a great bass player like a Kenny Aronson, and I need a great drummer like a Steve Holley, Wings and all the other things. Elton John and Ian Hunter. So I said, I know these 2 guys from Steel and Dan, because I also work in Steel and Dan with these guys.
With Dr. Dave.
With Dr. Dave, right? So I said, I know these 2 guys who are absolutely amazing. Some of the best musicians I've ever heard. You're going to love them. He says, okay, let's see. And he heard him. He goes, oh, man, thank you so much. And they, of course, were like, oh, my God, Phil Grande is like, and it just was one of those things. So so I feel blessed personally to have met Phil because he's opened up so many doors for me, in so many ways. So.
Well, you had a great dynamic to this project, my man.
Thank you.
And it's good to have you. Speaking of great dynamics and another tremendous, tremendous vocalist, let me get a quick hello, and if I can, to the lovely and talented Allison
Hi.
Gordon. How are you doing, Allison?
I'm doing very well.
What
How
a
are you?
big old vocal on you, young lady.
Oh, thank you.
Let me start by saying, let's talk about some history. Let's talk about where do you come from? Are you a Long Islander?
I'm a Long Island girl from Farmingdale.
No kidding.
Yes.
No kidding. Are you involved in other projects? Other
I
music
am.
projects?
I work with Ben in Camelot, and I'm also in a cover band called The Core.
The Core.
The Core.
That sounds familiar. What kind of music? What does The Core do?
Oh, we do Derek and the Dominoes. We do Bonnie Raitt, some Sheryl Crow, the Allman Brothers. The standards, some Tom Petty. You name it, we play it.
Look forward to checking that
Yeah,
project out.
Great.
So you got involved in Phil through Ben?
Yes, I did. I had the pleasure of getting the call to come down and work with Phil, and it's been very inspiring, and I'm very grateful to be in your presence. Your music is moving.
Well, you had a tremendous, tremendous dynamic to this project.
Thank you.
And I hope to see a lot more of you with the Fold project and the Core and
Camelot. Definitely,
Camelot
we'll be busy
as
this
well.
summer. Yeah.
Great vocal on you, young lady.
Thank you.
Keep going strong. Let's grab on the keys. If he'll head up to, I guess let's bring him up to Allison's mic real quick.
Yeah, come on.
Jeff Feinstein. How you doing, Jeff?
How you doing, Mark?
Happy. What's today? Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday
We're
night.
recording on a
Tuesday
Tuesday. Well, it's good to have you on this Tuesday night here on the Blues Warehouse,
Good to be
EKO
here.
Studios.
Good to be here.
Let's talk about the history. Let's talk about your involvement with the keys. Were you a young guy yourself when you started?
Yes.
How old?
Probably, I think it came to life to me around high school.
What was the influence? What made you decide that was the direction you were going into?
I was in all district chorus, and couldn't read music at the time, but I could play Day by Day. And we were doing Handel's Messiah. There was about 400 kids, and when they all took a break, I stuck over to the baby grand piano and started playing Day by Day. And little by little, they came back, and before I knew it, to my amazement, there was a whole chorus going Day by Day, swinging with the background vocals, and I was like, this is what it feels like. This is how I'd like to feel in the future.
How did you wind up getting involved in the Phil Grande project?
Little by little. I mean, I've known Ben for a long time.
Okay.
Obviously, of course, I've heard of Phil prior, and I've also I've known Matt. We used to work. We worked on the Charlie DeChant from the Hall & Oates project together. I've known Dan from different situations, and Ben and I have done work together, recording and live as well. So just friends that keep passing through time.
You had another great dynamic to this project with your playing on the keys, and it's good to have you be a part of this project, my
Pleasure.
man. Keep going strong. Jeff Feinstein
Thank
on the
you.
keys. I thank you so much. Phil Grande, you got a great. I'll tell you who's blessed and honored. You.
I am blessed to have these people.
You got a great band behind you, great core, and I think we got time for two more.
Okay.
Let's do another one, then we'll do our goodbyes, and then you'll play us out. What are we doing next?
This one was an inspired moment that I love the Beatles. Who doesn't? But I took a song of theirs and decided to turn it completely around. From the intro to the time I come in, it could be anything, but you'll recognize it once I start singing.
I'm looking forward to the journey you're going to take us on with your music abilities. You good to go?
I'm good to go.
Well, I'm going to look in this direction here and say this. On the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with Phil Grande and the Fold. Let's do it.
He come on flat top, he come grooving up slowly. He got choo-choo eyeballs, he want holy roller. He got head down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please. Come together now, come together. Come together right now. Wolf's gumbo. You got no sideball. He won't spinal cracker. You got feet down below his knees. Hold you in his arms till you can feel his disease. Yeah. He roller coaster. He got all he wanted. He got all he wanted. He want hold your filter. He said, one and one is free. Got to be good looking. You just do what he please. Come together right now. Come together right now. Come together. Oh, please. Come together. Come together. Come together. Come together right now. Please come together over me.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Phil Grande and The Fold. Nice rendition, my man.
Thank you.
Very nice rendition. I enjoyed that. We got to do some goodbyes before you play us out. Let's start with, on the bass, Mr. Dan Ehrlich. Dan, thank you so much. Good having you in here. Back there on the drum kit, Mr. Matt Miller. Thank you so much, Matt. On the keys, we got to thank Jeff Feinstein. Thank you again, Jeff. On our backing vocals, let's start with the lovely and talented Allison Gordon. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Well done, kiddo. Ben Phillip on the other backing vocal.
Thank you.
And last, but certainly not least, guitar, vocals, Mr. Phil Grande. Well done, Phil.
Thank you. May I thank a couple of people out there?
Nope.
Real quick?
Of course.
All right. I'd like to thank Mr. David Fellman. He works at the Rock and Roll Butcher Shop. It's also called Suburban Prime Meats. If you need to get a copy of my first record, you could go online there, or actually you could go on YouTube and... what's the other one that they sell records on? Or you could go right to the butcher shop. I want to thank Dave for helping me out with that, and Dr. Morgenstern, and all my friends out there have helped me so much with everything. My band, thank you, everyone.
Any of the digital outlets, I'm sure they can, if they Google Phil Grande and
Yes.
Some Kind of Hurricane,
That's the album. That's my
they'll
first.
find it. They'll
Right.
find it, and they can purchase Amazon.com or any of those digital outlets.
Right.
I'm sure.
And this new album is being done as we speak. You've heard some of the new ones tonight. That song, Come Together, will also be produced on
Very
that
cool.
record.
And you're also on Facebook. People can also follow you on Facebook.
If you want to say hello, hello.
Well, I appreciate that, Phil Grande. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You're going to play us out. Before you do, I want to remind everybody to always check out EKO Studios at ekoproductions.com. They are, of course, as always, the official studio of the Long Island Blues Warehouse. For the Blues Warehouse, I'm Mark Klein at liblues.com. And don't forget to check me out on Friday mornings at 90.1 FM on Long Island from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, or WUSB.FM to check out the live blues show on Fridays. liblues.com will get you there as well. That having been said, we say goodbye to this week's featured artist. Thank you. And one more time, Phil Grande and The Fold. Let's do it.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4. You sure look fine. Ooh, baby, I declare, you sure look fine. Don't you know you made many a man go down crying? Baby, when you walk, you know you shake just like a willow tree. When you walk, you shake just like a willow tree. Don't you know you're gonna bring that devil out of me? Let me love you, baby. Let me love you, baby. got a bone.